Welcome back, everybody, to yet another short video of what's going on. I am your host, Jacob Carlson, and today in this short video, I want to simply talk about UFOs once again. Now, why in this particular case? Well, for me personally, and for all the UFO community at large, the past 7 years have been quite extraordinary and exciting, to say the least. And I'm going to try to give a brief, summarized timeline of events for those who are not completely caught up in the first place. So, so here we go. Starting back in 2017, I believe, the New York Times actually published an article talking about UFOs, where basically there was this secret Pentagon program that investigated UFO sightings that was headed by Luis Elizondo, and that it also talked about him resigning from the program due to lack of more accountability from within the program overall, from the higher ups essentially. And he ended up leaking to the New York Times three UFO videos that were taken by Navy pilots back in 2004 and 2015, and pretty much the news story kind of died down. And it was an instance that the New York Times and other newspaper articles were actually taking UFOs seriously for once. So a couple of years go by, and in the year 2020, out of nowhere, and especially during the pandemic of all times, the Pentagon decided to make a statement that the three leaked UFO videos that were previously released back in 2017 through the New York Times actually were real after all. They weren't fake in any way, shape, or form. So that was quite a stunning admission from the Pentagon of all people. So there you have it on that. The following year, in 2021, there was a UFO report that was released by the U.S. government altogether that pushed for more accountability, more scrutiny, and more scientific research to be put into this phenomenon in the first place, meaning that elected officials in Congress are taking UFOs seriously, and they're calling on academic institutions, universities, individual scientific groups, and of course, even news outlets that covered this report and scrutinized it in every way, shape, or form back in the year 2021. They were all taking UFOs seriously for once. And so that's what happened in 2021. The following year, in 2022, not a lot would happen, but eventually the U.S. government finally held its first congressional hearing on UFOs for the first time in over 50 years. Essentially, the last hearing that they had on UFOs was back, I believe, in the late 1960s or the early 1970s. I can't remember which year it was, but that's how long ago it was. And so that's what happened there. And in 2023, it really begins to heat up big time, in which there was another UFO whistleblower by the name of David Grush that came forward to a news outlet that is known as News Nation, and they gave an exclusive interview saying that we're not alone in the universe after all, and that there's a multi-decade program going back since the days of Kenneth Arnold and Roswell back in the 1940s of a program to try to reverse engineer alien technology and everything else that's been happening within government behind the scenes and so on and so forth. And the fact that News Nation and other outlets were covering UFOs in such a way that you it was like the stuff of science fiction all of a sudden. But so there you are in that. There you have it on that. And of course, that led to another congressional hearing that involved David Grush and the two Navy pilots that I previously mentioned that took those three UFO videos in the first place. So that this was extraordinary, but also extraordinary was that the same year in 2023, National Geographic made a UFO documentary series talking about UFOs and the brief 70 plus years of history in the UFO community and exactly what's been happening overall. And also, a book was published by an author named Garrett M. Graff, who was essentially worked for the government for the longest time and published his own book pertaining to UFOs. Now, whether or not people actually like how he talked about it, the fact that he chose to publish a book talking about UFOs is also pretty extraordinary as well. And of course, you're thinking, where exactly is all this going? Well, just this past week in the year 2024, just this past week, Sunday night to be exact, last week tonight on HBO, uh, John Oliver, of all people, the last person I expected to talk about UFOs in the first place, dedicated a 20 to 30-minute long segment talking about the brief history of UFOs and the lack of scrutiny and accountability to it whatsoever. And that was extraordinary to me because it's not the first time that late night talk show host actually talked about UFOs in an open manner. I mean, Stephen Colbert is one of them, Jimmy Kimmel was another, and a handful of others that I can't remember right now. UFOs, to put it simply, are everywhere now, and I cannot stress that enough. And it's been nonstop coverage on News Nation and National Geographic. Even the History Channel has jumped on that, and of course, a lot longer than anyone else for that matter. And it's just extraordinary. And I hope this does not let up anytime soon. Who knows what's going to happen next? 2024 is still happening, so let's see what happens there. And with that being said, my name is Jacob Carlson. I hope you're caught up on the timeline of events of UFOs so far. Please, if you want, like the video, comment something you like or don't like. Please press the red subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Please share the video with all the people you know and love. And I would always ask that you please take care of each other out there. Be nice to one another. And as always, I will see you in the next couple of videos. Okay, take care of yourselves. Bye bye.